Am I the a-hole for kicking my dad out of my house after he picked a fight with me over my stepmom? I, 31M, have always had a complicated relationship with my dad. Not outright hostile, but never particularly warm either. I'm the youngest of three. My sisters Kat, 37F, and Mel, 35F, were old enough to remember our mom vividly when she passed away. I, unfortunately, wasn't. She died when I was just a year old. I never got to know her beyond the photographs and the memories passed down by my sisters. Our dad remarried when I was around 4. My stepmom came into our lives gently. She wasn't overbearing or pushy, just present. She did what a parent should do, cared for us, kept the house running, tried to be a support system. In fact, in many ways, I grew to appreciate her more than I did my dad. He was always a little emotionally closed off, a bit too stern, and very controlling about how we were allowed to grieve our mother. That control showed itself in strange and hurtful ways. He forbade my sisters from speaking too openly about our mother around me. He thought it would confuse me or somehow disrespect my stepmom. If I wandered into my sisters' rooms to look at photo albums or asked innocent questions about our mom, he'd blow up. He once grounded Mel for trying to turn me against the family just because she showed me a necklace that had belonged to mom. And then there was the pressure. He insisted I call my stepmom mom. Said it over and over, at holidays, at birthdays, on random school nights when I'd slip up and call her by her name. He'd scold me, and sometimes it turned into a shouting match. He even tried to get her to adopt me, and he couldn't understand why I resisted. But to me, it felt like he was trying to erase someone I never got the chance to know. My stepmom, to her credit, rarely pushed that boundary. She asked once or twice if I'd ever think of her as mom, and she looked visibly hurt when I said no, but she didn't force it. She let the issue go. I respected that about her. I still do. Things between my dad and me kind of mellowed when I went away to college. Space helped. We talked less, and that seemed to work for both of us. At my wedding, though, he pulled me aside. With all seriousness, he said, "You'll understand when you have kids. You'll want them to have just one mom and dad. It's time to grow up and stop living in the past." I didn't respond. I just nodded and walked away. Now I'm a father of 2 amazing kids, with a third on the way. Life is hectic, but good. My wife and I work hard to create a home that's full of love, honesty, and openness. We talk about our families often, including the people we've lost. I keep a framed photo of my mom on the living room wall, right above the mantel. It's one of the few pictures I have of her holding me as a baby. My sisters helped me find it. This past Saturday, we had friends and family over for a small barbecue. The kids were running around the backyard, laughter echoing through the house. It was one of those simple, beautiful days you hope your kids remember when they're older. Then it happened. My 3-year-old daughter, sitting on my dad's lap, pointed at the picture on the wall. "Grandma," she said proudly, smiling. And just like that, the temperature in the room dropped. My dad went silent. His jaw clenched. He set my daughter down and just sat there, staring at the picture like it had personally offended him. My wife noticed. My sisters noticed. Even my stepmom looked uncomfortable. About an hour later, when most of the guests had left or stepped outside, he snapped. He stood up and demanded to know what the hell I was doing. "You're a grown man now," he yelled. "A father. When are you going to stop this fantasy? That's not your mother. That's just a picture of someone you never knew. You're raising your kids to disrespect the woman who actually raised you." I tried to stay calm. Told him we were just honoring all parts of our family. But he kept going. "Why do you still call her your mom? Why do you have that photo out in the open like she means something? Why does your daughter call her grandma when the woman who's loved you your entire life is sitting right there on the couch?" My stepmom tried to intervene, gently telling him to calm down, but it only made things worse. He lashed out again, yelling that I was letting my sisters poison me with their grief, that I didn't deserve the love my stepmom gave me, that I was clinging to some ghost out of spite. And that's when I'd had enough. I told him, firmly, to leave. He refused at first. Said I owed him an explanation. Said a real man wouldn't kick his father out of his house just for asking questions. He started cursing, pacing, waving his arms like he wanted to fight. So I got louder. Told him again to leave my house. My wife was holding our toddler and my son was peeking around the corner. I wasn't going to let them see this side of him. He stormed out, muttering curses, slamming the door behind him. Since then, he's been blowing up my phone with calls and texts. Not to apologize, just to rage. He says I'm weak, disloyal, ungrateful, that I'm trying to rewrite history. He said I humiliated him in front of family. But you know what? I'm done pretending this man hasn't made parts of my childhood quietly painful. I'm done trying to please someone who can't let go of control. My kids deserve better. My stepmom, ironically, hasn't said a single word about it. No blame. No guilt trips. Just quiet distance and a kind message to my wife, asking if we were doing okay. Now I'm wondering, AITA, for kicking him out? I don't feel bad. I feel like I stood up for my family for the space we've created. But part of me keeps hearing his voice, calling me disrespectful and cold. So, am I the a-hole?